Star Wars Outlaws is yet another new Star Wars game being set during the time of the Empire, making it the fourth story in a row set when the Empire are the big bad of the universe. Sure, we've had some sequel trilogy stuff with an additional Battlefront 2 campaign and Tales from the Galaxy's Edge VR, but beyond that, all of the stories so far have ranged from 14 BBY to around 4 ABY. Now, as much as I would love to see more diversity with the eras that the games are being set in, we know that Star Wars Eclipse is going to be releasing in several years' time, and that's obviously a High Republic game. And then there is the KOTOR remake, which is set thousands of years prior to this. And I know this sounds a bit like I'm complaining, because in a way I am, but I actually think Star Wars Outlaws has chosen the perfect time period for the game to be set in. So in this video, I'll be discussing why I think that is. Before I do get into that though, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and turn on the notification bell for more things Star Wars Outlaws and Star Wars gaming. So for those of you who don't know, Star Wars Outlaws is set in the year between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, making it the first piece of content to be set in that time period besides comics and novels, and with it being a video game, I'd argue it's definitely the biggest piece of content, and I think that is hugely exciting. Outside of comics and novels, we've had plenty of content set either side of the trilogy. For example, the 2 Jedi games, Andor, Rogue One, Solo, the Battlefront 2 campaign, the Squadrons campaign. So this is one of the reasons why I think it's the perfect time period, because it is a relatively unexplored area of time within Star Wars, and therefore it has a lot of potential for exploration and expansion. Now, to be fair, this vast potential for exploration and expansion can be anywhere within Star Wars, even if you have a year that's just full of stuff, just because of how vast the universe is. But I think Outlaws is in a really unique position to be able to help plug some gaps, if there are any, but to also just tell a story in a year that really not a lot goes on as far as we're aware. Now, the next big reason as to why I think it's perfect is very much in line with what the developers have been saying, and that is simply because the crime syndicates of the galaxy are now in full flow and business is better than ever. With business booming for the crime syndicates, it means that opportunities will be bigger and better than ever, and with a war going on between the Empire and the Rebellion, that will also no doubt create plenty of opportunity as well. In Star Wars Outlaws, we already know that there will be 3 crime syndicates at least that we'll be able to build our reputation with. So from that alone, obviously we know that there's going to be plenty of opportunity for different tasks and quests. But we can also no doubt expect the game to go to places that no game has ever gone before, both literally and a more philosophical sense as well. And that is another reason as to why I think it's so exciting. I've always wanted to play a game as a bounty hunter or smuggler or scoundrel in this case, but essentially just someone who partakes in activity that isn't perceived particularly well by authorities, and it really does feel like this time in the galaxy is the biggest and best time to be able to do that. The Empire is obviously the big authority figure in the galaxy at this moment in time, but they themselves even partake in dodgy business as well, and I'm really excited to see how that is handled, and we obviously got a little bit of a tease of that within the gameplay. I know I've already said it quite a bit, but the word that I would use to describe this period of time is opportunity. And for a game like Outlaws where you get to play as a scoundrel, there will be plenty of opportunities for us to take in all areas of the galaxy. The game itself genuinely seems huge, and the time period couldn't be better for a game with crime syndicates involved, and the war between the Empire and Rebellion seems to be pretty much at its peak, or even growing to that point as we know what happens in Return of the Jedi. So I think there's going to be a lot of moving parts within this game, and I really cannot wait to learn more about this. And if you can't too, then make sure you are subscribed to the channel for all things Star Wars Outlaws. That is going to be it from me today though. Thank you all very much for watching, and may the Force be with you always.